Hello, hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. Today I'm going to revisit what I did on my last video. This was what I had made for you. It was a butterfly drawer to save your collection in. And I had explained in the description box about I should have went up further. And that Jetsy girl, you were asking what I meant when I said I should have went down 1/2 inch or up 1/2 inch. This is what I'm meaning. These two slits that I created, I should have went up at least 1/2 of an inch more here and made this one go down 1/2 of an inch more before I created it. Because if I had went up about 1/2 of an inch here, that means my drawer would have been completely on the box here that I created. And it looks more like it's a drawer. The way I have it now, it's kind of hanging off, but yeah, that's okay. And then, so we're going to move that one over so you can see where it should be. And then on the other one, if I had gone down 1/2 of an inch more, it would have been about right here where it would be standing. And you can see they're so much closer together. And usually when you see a chest of drawers or some kind of drawers in something, a bureau, they've just got that little bit of room in between them. So that's what I meant. And today, today I'm going to make another thing similar to it. It's a little different. It's only going to have one drawer in it, but it's going to be for that Poe journal that I still need to do, where I was going to make one and in a simple book. Well, I'm going to make this piece to go in that journal. And it's, like I said, it's only going to have the one drawer, but it'll be fun. It's going to be a crypt. For those that are interested, it will be a crypt. So I decided it's probably going to be 5 inches wide, like the other one was. And I have this that almost looks like a chandelier of sorts. It's got an owl on it, but I thought it kind of looked like a motif that might be on the top of one of those buildings, an old building. And if you know what a crypt is, or a mausoleum, that's basically what this is going to be. They usually have decorative scroll work and stuff like that. And also out of here, we're going to be using this guy. He's going to be in the crypt. Then I also have a little bit of a crackle stamp here. Now this one here, I should have told you, this is Haunted Mansion, CMS 091. This one is the Shattered stamp, and it is CMS 466. And I loved this. I love crackle. It almost covers a complete page, and you get a very big stamp block that comes along with it. It's real similar to the what do you call it? The quilt square that I was showing you here that you can also use. But this came free with it. So I really like that. And we're going to try to age up our outside of our mausoleum. I've got some stickers here. Now these came, I have had them for ages. They came with something with a 12 by 12 pack when I was doing all of my genealogy, and I had a scrapbook for my genealogy, and I never really found a way to use these, so I'm going to use those for sort of like columns. And then I have this surfaces book. I got it from Recollections, so that was Michael's, and I really loved a lot of the pieces that were in it. Now I've got a bunch of brick pieces, and I may even actually cut off some of the brick here, because I like that tone. I don't think I still have that one in here. But we are going to have as our base, this got a gold thread in it, but it's a marble look. So that one, we could go ahead and pull that one out. So that's definitely going to be one of our pieces. And let me see what else is in here. Oh, I'm sorry I'm a little green. I actually cut out some plants. I don't know if you can see them up here, because I needed ivy to kind of climb up one of the walls here of my mausoleum. And I had a fern and another little kind of a twiggy, kind of a branch that I thought I could use. But yeah, I don't see this brick. There's a white brick in here, but I would rather have that color. I think that goes as a good base for the mausoleum. And yeah, I'm not seeing it in here. I don't think I have any more. I used up a lot of the brick ones a while back. And I do need something that's going to be my base. See, I've got some stonework in here. I really love the surfaces one because you could use it for anything. Now, the one that I'm going to probably use for the skeleton, I don't know. This one I'm thinking, I think this was going to be the outside. Maybe. How was I going to do it? Maybe this was going to be the outside and that's going to be the inside where the skeleton's lying. I don't know. It doesn't quite look right, does it? Let me think about this. Okay, we're using this to stamp the skeleton on. It looks basically like a concrete slab, doesn't it? Perfect. That's perfect. All right, so we're going to have... And you know, this kind of goes with this brick. So we'll just use this brick so we don't cut our cover up. And then we have these 3 pieces. These are just some scraps that I had from previous pages. I don't think I'm going to need them for anything, but we'll have all these to the side. All right, let's clear off the decks here and see what we got. Okay, we have a piece here, which is going to be our base. It's a 2x5, so it's 2 inches tall and 5 inches wide. This piece is also 5 inches wide, which is as wide as our, paper can be to actually work on a 5.5 inch piece of paper. Because mine's usually a folded 8.5 by 11 in half. So you've got 5.5 on each side once you fold it. So that's where we're working with there. Then I want to find the top here, the center of the top. So this is 2.5. Here's my 0. Got 2.5 this way and 2.5 this way. So I know this is dead center of the top. Then I have to figure out how far down I want to go. Now I want this to be across the top here. So more than likely I'm only going to want to, go down about an inch and a half, I think. So I can get that motif all the way across the top. So we're just going to mark it right here like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to match it up right here. Now this is a piece that can be done if you're wanting to do some type of a building item for a journal. That's what we're working with here. I wanted to show you a little different version of what I did. It could be any size. That's what I was telling Jatsy. It could be any size. And also, I did want to include telling you that this part here, I had to add this part because this drawer was up so far. That was another reason. That was the reason it had to be 1/2 inch lower. When I put this in, the top of this this tag was right up here at the edge. I couldn't even glue it shut because this was right there. So I had to include a top piece up here just so that one was able to go in and slide all the way into the top. So it worked out because usually you have a top on a chest of drawers or whatever. But anyhow, I flew by the seat of my pants, Miss what is that? Oh gosh, pretty girl. There we go, pretty girl. So I'm flying by the seat of my pants kind of person. So let's go ahead and cut this down. And we'll have this done. Then I can do some special effects here that I want to accomplish on the piece. Now, I probably need to have some type of a roof line to this, which it may end up being this kind of paper right here that looks like concrete. I will probably put that down on there. And, yeah, let's go ahead and get everything ready. Let's erase our few little marks here. Get them out of the way. And then we're going to go ahead and put a big old stamp on here of that. Okay, so we have our piece here. That's the owl and the scroll work. That's going to be our top portion up here. And we're going to go ahead and use our VersaFine Onyx Black pigment ink. My favorite of all time. because it does such a detailed work and gives you a good bold. That's why I never have to go back in. If you have a ink pad that doesn't give you a nice juicy layer on your stamp, and you just like tap it and it doesn't do a full image, this one almost always gives me a full image. And I never had to have a one of those stamp presses like the Misty, because it always gives me that full coverage. Sounds like I'm talking about foundation. Right, with makeup. I don't know if I said thank you for being here. I really do. I do appreciate you coming and spending some time with me, especially since I'm showing you something that I've already shown you. In a way, this is just kind of a remake of what I've already done. Now, see, I got a really great stamp. I do see on this stamp that I didn't get a very full image over here on either edge, but that's because I just didn't kind of lean into it on those two portions, which that's okay. I got enough on there. As you can see, it's a pretty decent image. And I picked an area that didn't have as much of the gold, just because, you know, I didn't think I needed it. Now, this is the part where we're going to go in here and we're going to take and probably put it on here like this. I might even come up here at the top and also give it a little bit of a crackle that way as well. So let's see what we can do. You don't even have to fully load this. You're wanting it to look more grungy. So if a few places don't come out all the way with this stamping process here, that's okay. You don't need it. Now you can just do a little rub on there. Some people just, oh gosh, that was that was a lot more bold than I thought it was going to be. Good gravy. You know, I don't like that. Let's try this again. And I'm going to go for Lost Shadow on this part of it. Let me recut this out. Okay, we're ready to go again. So all I did was lay this over my paper and just draw around it with pencil, and I cut it out. So that's all. Easy, easy. Now, this is a dye and pigment ink combination. We just used the pigment ink, and I'm not going to worry about it because I think I can use both of these on here. Now, this is Lost Shadow, and I really like how it turns out. Well, it's actually really white, isn't it? Let's see. We're going to stamp it up here just to see how it works. If it's going to be, oh gosh, dark enough or not. All right, let's pull this to the side and see what we got. This is about the same shade. It's very mild, isn't it? Very mild. I'm trying to see what I could do here. Okay, I wasn't as thrilled with with Lost Shadow, so I picked pumice stone. And I put some on here, and look, it's kind of, I kind of like that. It goes a little bit with the gold, goes a little bit with this background here. And so we're going to just go ahead with this one. So this is just a Distress Ink pumice stone, and we're going to try that. Now, it doesn't hurt to try things out. I mean, that's all part of the game here, to see what blends nicely with something else and works and, you know, tells the story you're wanting to tell. All right, I think right here is good. Now, let's put this on here. And it's not going to be as bold as this black over here. And that's what I wasn't that crazy about. You know, when you see those motifs on the top of old buildings and, you know, the mausoleums and such. Oh, much better. See? It kind of almost looks like it goes with this building, like it was purposeful, you know. So that's what we're going with. And we're going to do that same pumice stone down here on this as well. I was asking my mom this morning. We had to run to Verona to do a little bank work or something with her. So we got a bite to eat. And she had told me at one time that her uncle, which is actually a great uncle, because she was raised by her grandmother, and this was a grandmother's sister's husband. He used to work as a caretaker at a cemetery, this big old cemetery we have in town. thorn rose. And it's got so many beautiful old buildings. And it's got a castle turret. And it has so many different things, real decorative things, because it's a really old cemetery and real decorative. And so he used to have to take care of, like, mowing the grass. I pity that. Well, maybe it wasn't as big back then. And, oh yes, perfect. I'm so happy with that. That looks so much better. So much. Okay. So, oh, and I wanted to put a little bit up here on the top. So I'm going to do a little bit of it right here. And then, okay. So yeah. He used to have to take care of all the grounds, and he even had to watch out, you know, for the mausoleums and things, because people try to get into them. I mean, they're locked up and everything, but he said people used to try to get into them. So he had to watch out for that. I guess they were just trying to get in there. I've heard old bums or stuff, you know, which, you know, the mission's just down the road. They could have stayed at the mission, but I guess they didn't want to. Maybe they just wanted to be off by themselves. But he had to watch out for all those kind of things. And I guess, you know, I know when you're in a mausoleum, usually you're in there in a drawer. So that's where this idea come from. All right. Now, see, I didn't try to, what you call it? I just left this on the little liner thing that it comes on, instead of putting it on the block. Yeah, I'm losing my words, guys. Yeah. Now, this is what I do. I just take, when I clean my stamps off, I'm using these. They're makeup remover wipes. They don't have anything in them. They got a little aloe and green tea, which doesn't hurt, but they're very gentle. So you get them for, like, at pack for 96 cents in the makeup department at Walmart. And yeah, they last forever. And then once I get them to the point where they're really dirty and there's too much on them, I set them down on a little container kind of a thing, and I let them dry. And what happens then is they become my wipes for my my glue wipes. So yeah, I've got a little bit more juice left in this one. So we'll come back to that again. And I just put them in like a little sandwich baggie. And that's all I did. And okay, so now, what else do we have? Now, these were going to be the columns. And at the moment, I'm wondering if they're going to be too wide. Maybe I can pull this. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll have something going across right here, because you always have a ledge or something going across. And then I'm going to have something up here at the top that's going to be the roof. And I don't know if I want to use these or just that concrete looking thing I got over here. Okay, let's get this over here. So yeah, now I got to figure out what the cut's going to be. So we want to have a drawer here. And I'm kind of coming up with a different idea of how to attach this drawer. Now, I want to have a place where the slit will be, where it's going to go into the actual thing. Now, I don't think that's going to work. How tall have we got it here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I made it 8. Now, this is going to be for a regular size. I'm probably going to have to cut this in half. And, yeah. I'm still thinking it out. You know, it's about like the other one. Or I can just make this the pull. Okay. Okay, so we have our little skeleton guy here. He's ready to go. I've been thinking about, you know, what I need to do next. I took that strip that I had, and I've cut off one strip that is going to be glued down right here underneath. How you usually see, you know, these old buildings done. It's a little lower than it should be, but we're okay with that. Then one of these is going to be down here at the bottom, whichever one is the smaller piece. probably this one. Although I do think I could cut this down to 2 and be happy with it. Let's just do that. So, and then I was trying to figure out my next step, which is where I need to put the cut for the pocket. And what I need to do here is I went and cut these at 2 1/4, or 2 1/2, 2 1/2. They're a 12-inch piece. I did score it at 6, right in, the middle. And what we're going to do after that is figure out how tall the door needs to be. Now, the part that's going to be inside with our skeleton on it is going to be full length. But the front piece, and I'm doing it like a double journal card. As you can see, it's going to be like that. So this is all coming to me at just at the drop of a bucket. But see, I've got all this room up in here once I've glued this down for it to go up into the slit. Well, the outer piece here is going to be the door. So that part is getting cut off right here. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, what's going on next is I'm going to take and ink a little bit right here in this crease, because we're going to have, we're going to have that little bit showing, and I don't want that crease to be all blaring white. So now we're going to take our glue, and we're going to glue this down on this side. This is the door side. And, oops, glue that down like that. And then put a little bit extra glue in there and put this down. And we can ink this after we're done. I just want to leave a little bit right where that crease or that score is. I want to leave that open just so it folds good. All right, that part's done. And we're going to chop this off. And like I said, this is the door. And then I need to put this part on here, but I'm going to stamp it first. And just in case my stamp goes wonky, you just never know. So to be on the sure side. And then we're going to make him black. He is going to be black, because he needs to really stand out. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and do this. Like that. And get him down on here. You never see me use that stamp platform, do you? I don't know. I'm just used to doing it this way, to tell you the truth. I got a few bats flying around here. They came out of this here, which is the Baseboards and Transparencies Halloween 2023. I also pulled this out, and I don't know if I'm going to use it. It's the transparency with a spider web on it. Now, I also have the Gravekeeper word that came out of this pack. So we may be using that to help decorate. Okay, there we go. Yep, good and dandy. So I'll clean that off later. And now, all we got to do is get this back over here. Mark off where I need to cut it. Right there, probably. I'll be right back. Alright, so we're going to glue him down and get him secured. Then we'll worry about inking. Yeah, I'm always throwing something at you, aren't I? Now, I'm trying to give you measurements as I'm going, but, you know. And if you need me to, say something if you want me to put the measurements down in the description box. If you ever wonder what I do, or you didn't catch the measurements, or you just would like me to go over it again and writing where you can have it and write, scratch it off on a piece of paper, go ahead and ask me in the in the comments below. I do not mind doing that at all. I forget what I'm doing half the time, especially when I'm going off the cuff like this. So I'm more than happy to help you out. Okay, so this is done. I think I'm going to go ahead and use more of the vintage photo here. And we're going to just ink our edges up a little bit just to give it some warmth. And it kind of looks like he's in his casket, right? That's kind of the idea that I had here. I'm not going to go ahead and be cliche and make it a casket shape. I think it's fine the way it is at the moment. So we won't worry. It's kind of understood. It was one of those things I was discussing the other week about, you know, if you don't put an eyeball on somebody or a mouth, kind of like those abstract paintings, it's kind of understood. You almost know that it's supposed to be there. Now, all the rest of this area can be journaled on. So that's where you're getting usage out of the rest of this card. And we're just going to go ahead and go around here really quickly just to give a little color. Now this on the front is actually the door, so we have to put a doorknob on here. And I don't know, but I don't think I need to put lines in it like it's wood, because I think it should be cement. All right. Now, we're going to go ahead and glue these two pieces down. I do need to ink them too, don't I? We're going to go ahead and ink these and put them down. Then I'm going to know exactly where to cut the slit for this to go in. I still have a few decorations here on the front. I have the, the ivy to go and put on. And I also have the bats. Trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to add. Oh, I did. I have my columns I need to stick on here as well. Actually, I may put this down first, and then I'm going to do my columns, and then I'll put my base. That'll work better. Okay. There. And we'll go across right under his tail. I never really understood exactly if this was a chandelier or what this was on this stamp pad. So I just kind of went with it. Now this is going to be our roof, so I'll set that over here. We also have our column, which is going to go along the sides here. Now, more than likely, I'm just going to cut it to where it needs to be. Well, I just as well cut it right there and there. And then, I know I don't need the white part or the cream part, so we're going to cut it down to that edge right there. So it just looks like a pretty column. We went to this one cemetery in Logan County, West Virginia. It was called, it was in McConnell, and it was Logan Memorial Park. And it's been this old cemetery. It's been there 100 years or so, maybe more. And it had this archway made out of rock. So it was very easily found. And it was used by a lot of very prestigious people over time. But what happened was, and it's supposed to be maintained, you know, where you pay taxes or whatever. And somebody was supposed to maintain the buildings and take care of the graves and mow and, you know, take care of any trees that may be growing. They did not do any of that. These poor graves. And we went up in there, and I don't know if people had been moving their loved ones out. The bodies were gone. And so it was pretty sad. There was a lot of gorgeous old graves up in there. There was one mausoleum at the very beginning when we first went in. But that was the only one. But they did have all of these other little They were mausoleum, like one grave mausoleums up on top. The one at the very beginning was a big one. I'm actually just going to fold this over to tell you the truth. It was, it had 4 graves in it, but the other ones were singles. But they were all empty. I do not know where those graves were unless they moved them. There was a bunch of vandalism that happened. Isn't that sad? When people will go and ruin grave sites and stuff like that. I don't know. I guess young kids, somebody bored out of their mind. I don't know who else would desecrate a grave like that, you know. Pretty sad. Although the world is turning into some hard times. There's all kinds of things happening now you wouldn't think would ever happen. Okay, now we're to the part where we want to put our slit in here. So let me get my X-Acto knife, and after we get this in, we're going to put our roof on. We got to ink that. I mean, not ink it, but we have to yeah, ink it. That was the right word. I'm losing it. Okay, so I'm trying to get this dead center, just eyeballing it, you know. So we're going to actually go out to here probably. Not quite that far, but that gives me a guideline. And we're going to take this and go along the bottom level here. Like that. And then I'm going to go up just a little bit. And I'll tell you what, we're actually going to use a magnet on this as well. Was that as far over as I needed to go? Okay, looks like it. Yeah, now I just got to get my scissors in here. And we're going to trim that out. Just like that. And then down here. There. Now I don't really need to ink that edge. I don't really want to bring attention to it because it's supposed to be invisible where the door will go into. So we need to go ahead and ink this up a bit. It doesn't need to be that big, does it? So let's just go about inking it down to a certain point. Now, if you would rather use black, you could do that. You know, depending on what your color scheme is. Black would do very well here. The scorched timber would do very well. I'm kind of feeding off of the warm vibes that I've got on here, though. Now, I think I'm going to actually, because I think this motif is down a little further than I want it to be, I'm going to actually glue this down like that. So we're just going to put us some glue right along here and see what we get. And then we're going to trim off. Okay, so we're going to do it just about like this. Oh, I need to go. Well, no, I'm fine. Because I'm going to have another piece here that's going to hide that little bit. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to actually cut this maybe like that. So you got a little bit to see. And then we're going to do this as well on that side. And then we'll trim anything else off that we don't want. There. Okay, so we're going to trim this right here. We don't want it to be too big because it's going to be in the way, you know. I'm going to go ahead and leave this turned over, so it's going to give us a good guideline right there and right there. Now you can go back in with your ink if you want to. I need a little bit more right there, it looks like. Okay. Everything's falling. And yeah. We want to go ahead and ink those edges. Yeah, I got to get working on this other Poe book. Oh, I'm just letting it all ride, aren't I? Okay, now, I wanted some vines, and I took and I splattered some of this kind of a olive green with some different colors, just to give it a little interest. And so we have a couple of those. It's going to actually come up through here like that. And maybe I need to, yeah, I'll come down a little further. That's what I'll do. Let me get my tweezers. We'll get in here and give us a little bit of interest on the front. And this is, I just showed this one the other day, didn't I? It's one of those I'm using in the nature journal, specimen journal, whatever I've chosen to call it. It's still a mystery. Oh, okay, there we go. Let's get this down first, and then we'll see what we can do then. Okay. I think if I put it right here, I'm going to miss the slit, and it's going to go up the side like it's climbing the column. I'm going to use this to push this in. And I'm thinking I'm going to have one coming across as well. I think that might be kind of cool. I'm not exactly crazy about this one green area there. So I'm wondering about kind of, how would I do that? How would I do that? Should I come in from the side? Maybe something like that. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. And I'm going to cut this last section off right here. I don't need that. You see, I can use that on something else in my specimen journal. Well, let's see, we're going to do this. And then we're going to see about putting a couple bats on here. Whoops. Oh, goodness. The nose always gets stuck, but I love this bottle. You know, the art glitter glue was okay. I was fine with it. It was just, you know, it's kind of expensive to begin with. And you couldn't get it in the winter. That's the worst part of it. It doesn't do well. The consistency doesn't do well once it freezes. So they actually have a stopping date on when you can actually order it. So if you wanted any, you almost have to order it beforehand and have it to go through the winter. Well, sometimes you don't know if it's going to go through the winter for you. You don't know how much you're going to use it. Okay. I don't think I want any other. I have a little bit of a fern here. That might look kind of cute there. So let's see if we can use this fern. I'm not going to glue down any further. That'll be as far down I need. So I always went with my Barely Arts glue, which I find works the same way and has a few other perks besides. You got a little bit more room, move time. You've got where it'll work with vellum really well. Okay, so now we're going to trim that off. Another piece I can use for something. All right, I don't think these little weeds I'm going to need. That's all I want. Now I want to do the bats. I think I'm going to do the smaller bats and maybe just 2 of them. And then I have to put the gravekeeper on here, but I need to thin it down first. All right. So we're going to do the little bat right here. And then I have a straight bat. These also come in that Halloween 2023 pack. So you get a lot of good stuff with it. I'm just going to do it like that. Now, I have other sizes. There's a bigger bat, but where did he fly off to? I do have a bigger bat. I have no clue where he went. Oh, here he is. That gives you a different, perspective. So, but I don't think I want to worry about that. Also had a crow that was on the Haunted Mansion. And I did wonder about having him on here. So he would be about like that. But see, I've already glued some stuff down, and I don't know if it would do well. The best thing I could do is like stamp him on something else. I do also have a crow. I do have a crow. Okay, so I had this kit, this die cutting set. That is the Vault Gothic Portraits 666681. And it had these great things in it. I used those in the Gothic Poe journals. So if you didn't catch those, it's got a great crow right here. And I think he will be perfect. I'm not going to be messing anything up because he's a die cut. When you stamp over levels that are a little different, you don't always get the full stamp. So you have to do repair work either with a little pen or something. And I don't really want to do that. I want to use something that's complete. So let's see. And this will work well because it's for our Poe Journal digital. And it'll go right along with the Raven. Okay. Now the Gravekeeper is the word I chose for this one. And I'm wanting to put it down here along the bottom. I know you're not seeing much of the brickwork, but that's okay. I mean, it's just kind of there. You're also spreading out your dark elements, which is your bats, and then your crow, and then I think I got a little little glue on there, and your Gravekeeper. So we're going to take and we're going to peel this. I'm just going to stick my finger right in there and pull it as close to the oh no, we don't want to do it too close so it rips. We got to get one more layer. Okay, we're just going to pull it right there. But this is like thicknesses that you don't want if you are trying to keep control of all the bulkiness. So this is what we're going to do. Now I'm going to put my glue in there so I can glue that back down. Because I sort of peeled it off. All right there. And actually, we're going to see if we can't just go over to the right a little bit. We'll just do that. And that's going to leave more of our brickwork showing. How about that? So we're just going to push all that down. You can get in here and burnish it a little bit if you think it needs it. See, it squeezes out more of that glue. Oops. Whoops. All right. There. Oh no. See, it was a little on the wet side. Let me see if I can fix that. That's definitely grungy. Now, what have I done? Yeah. I've done messed it up. Okay. Sorry, I had to cut you off for a second because I was trying to fix that. Here we go. All right, now. It looks a little cracked, but that's okay. It looks, aged. Now what we got to do is find us a magnet. Oops, I don't have one. I used them all when I was doing the Gothic Poe journals, and I haven't got replenished yet. Whoopsie. So we're going to use these crafting Velcro dots that are real clear. See, I've got a white surface here, and I think if I put the door down and Velcro that one little point up here, that's all I'm going to need. This is going to be inside. So yeah, this is what we're working with so far. So this goes in the slit. Did I make it big enough? Just barely. That goes up inside of there, and then this is the door for the front. Now, it's kind of The vine is kind of in the way, but I think we're all right there. But what I need to do is put a Velcro dot right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Get that out of the way. Now, this is the clear side. So I'm going to actually put that down here where you won't be able to see it. Actually, I need to put the other part on first. Let me do that. So it will guide it. Yeah, you always want to put the one dot on first. Then put the dot that's going to be on where you're not knowing where it needs to be, in other words. Because I knew exactly where that dot needed to be, right in the middle of the top here. Now, I don't know where this one needs to be, so I'm going to put it this way and then lay it down. And then push it in. And it will be in the correct location now. Correct. Now, see, it's holding shut. Yay, yay, yay. And see, here's our guy. He's going to be up inside of here. And once it gets glued down, it's just going to be glued around on the outside edges, like the other one was. But we need to put a pole on here, and I'm going to use one of those hinge things. All right, at the moment, I'm debating whether I wanted to use this, and I still think I do. I want to put this on here, and I'm just going to cut it in half. So I'm going to cut it right about where that line is at. And I'm going to get the center of the web, plus all the little pieces of the web going out to the outside. How about that? All right, so we're going to use this to cut it. I need to go just past that line. There we go. So I've got part of a web for something else, so I didn't waste it all. And we're just going to go ahead and use some glue here and put it down. So I'll just do the outside edge. Once this dries, it'll be see-through because it's a clear glue once it's fully evaporated and dried up and that kind of thing. But I really like the idea of you looking into his casket and seeing the cobwebs. That's what it's a little on the pale side, okay, but I'm okay with that. It's subtle, which that's fine. Some things can be subtle. So we're just going to go down like that, and yeah, if anything kind of seeped out, we'll just run this around the outside and make sure it's there. All right, now we're on our last legs. We're going to go ahead and see what we can do here about putting a pole. I'm going to go ahead and cap my glue, get it out of the way because I think it's done. We're going to put a pole, which I have this one type pole here, and I've used it on little doors in the past. Now, it's got gold in this, in the marbling, so I would rather not use this, which is like, what would you call that? Like a nickel? And I have a brass. This is, oh, this was probably better. I don't have a gold. It's not the bright colors. It's like a tarnished brass is what that is. So that's what we're going to use. And we need to grab our pokey tool. And I'm just guessing where it needs to be. I'm thinking right there. So I'm poking that in. And you know, I should have waited to glue this down until after I'd poked this in. You know, I don't think about those things. That's just the way I am. Oh my goodness. Oh. Now I'm having renditions from, what is that, Burlesque? Who's seen the movie Burlesque? Oh, I'm putting it on the wrong side too, aren't I? I need to be on this side. Okay. Get in there. There. Now I want to try to do up and down. And I don't think I'm going to worry about it showing. I don't think I am. I don't think I need to. But we're going to try to push this down to where it's flat. Yeah. There. Did I put it on there wrong? I did. I put it on there wrong. Oh, I know you were shouting at me, weren't you? You were shouting. I'm sorry. I have to laugh at myself all the time because I'm always messing up. Never fails. Okay, let's get you out here and please work with me. Oh, all right. Now, push that back down. Try to curl it in the right direction. You can always push something against it if it's not flat like you want it to be. So, yeah, don't hesitate to use something flat to push that down. All right, and we have a handle. We finally have a handle. Okay, so I can't really show it to you going into the book, but you understand it'll be glued down all the way around the outside edge only. Then this goes inside, and then this will go up here, and there we go. So we have our body inside, and it has its this little spider webby, and it's like in these little crypt and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't do exactly a door pull in this one. It's got a different concept. It has a door. So as you can see, you've got many, many options as you go along on how you can use something you've seen somebody work with, and then you could totally turn it into something else. So when you wanted to take this out, you're just going to peel it off and see how invisible that is. You're going to peel that off, and then you're going to pull it out just like that. So you have the option of writing on the back side here, and then the inside here if you chose to. I don't know that anybody ever writes in any of my journals. Mama has a little bit, but I think a lot of people just use them for lookbooks. Which, if you don't know what a lookbook is, that's just where somebody likes to look through it and see how everything works. And I always try to do something that's interactive, like this, where it can be pulled out and put back in, and that kind of thing. But we've got our cement look going on here with our door and our roof. We have our brick here, our brick there. We have our vines climbing up over. You can still see the columns. And you have Mr. Crow. So I really, really hope you like this. I thought it turned out kind of cool. And you know me, I'm changing on the fly like a squirrel, you know. I think Jody Lewis creation, she's always saying squirrel, squirrel. I had a few squirrel moments, Jody. All right. Thank you, all my subscribers and viewers. I hope you appreciate the fun and gist that I put into everything, and you don't get mad at me giggling all the time. I know some of you don't mind it. Well, thank you. Everybody have a great, great day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.